Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're opening up a stack of sources that, frankly, reveal a staggering global crisis, a trillion-dollar crisis.
Yeah, and we're not talking about, a recession or some geopolitical thing.
No, this is the global scam epidemic. It's modern crime, but professionalized, weaponized with artificial intelligence, and it's accelerating really fast.
Crisis almost feels like an understatement when you dig into the numbers. The Global Anti-Scam Alliance, their 2024 report, puts the figure at over $1.03 trillion lost by consumers worldwide in just 1 year.
$1 trillion. That's bigger than the GDP of some countries.
Exactly. It's economic theft on a massive scale. And it's speeding up.
Yeah, the acceleration is terrifying. The U.S. alone reported $12.5 billion lost in 2024. It's a 25% jump year over year.
Huge increase.
So our mission today is to unpack this whole system. How did fraud become this sophisticated global industry? And why is one group, older adults, consistently taking the biggest hit, both financially and emotionally?
And it's fascinating where the money actually flows. These high-stakes long-con scams, they're exploding. Things like pig butchering, romance scams. Their crypto revenue jumped almost 40% year over year in 2024.
40%? Wow.
Yeah, it's become a major profit engine. And like you said, AI deepfakes are just pouring fuel on the fire, scaling it all up exponentially. Billions in projected losses just from that.
Okay, let's get into Act 1, the professionalization of global crime. We really need to stop thinking about this as just, isolated incidents, individuals working alone.
Absolutely. The sources paint a really clear picture. This is a global, professionalized ecosystem now.
Organized crime, basically, but with a tech startup model almost.
Kinda, yeah. High volume, cross-border. If you just follow the money. Cryptocurrency scams alone took in at least $9.9 billion on-chain in 2024.
On-chain meaning that's just what's visible on the blockchain.
Right. And some estimates suggest the real total, including off-chain stuff, could easily top $12 billion.
And to handle that kind of volume, you need, logistics. Which brings us to places like Huoni Guarantee, based out of Cambodia. Sounds almost legitimate, like a finance firm.
It functions like one, but for criminals. It's basically an online forum and a peer-to-peer exchange. They've processed something like $70 billion in crypto transactions since 2021.
$70 billion through one platform.
Yeah, it's staggering. It's essentially a one-stop shop. Need targeted data lists. They have them. Web hosting. Sure. Social media content creation. Yep. And crucially, professional money laundering services.
Making the dirty money clean and untraceable.
Exactly. It shows a truly global operational scope. And this infrastructure, this is what enables the really awful human toll of things like pig butchering scams.
Right. Explain pig butchering for anyone who hasn't heard the term. It sounds brutal.
It is brutal. It's a long con. Scammers build trust, often romantically, sometimes over months. Then they fatten the pig, that's the victim, encouraging bigger and bigger investments into fake crypto platforms.
And the revenue growth here is just
immense. Like we said, almost 40% year over year in 2024. It's now about a third of all crypto scam revenue. But the really dark side is where these operations are physically located.
We're talking about these large scam compounds, mainly in Southeast Asia.
Yes, primarily Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia.
Yeah.
And they are almost always linked directly to forced labor and human trafficking.
So the people running the scams are often victims themselves.
Often, yes. International justice missions started seeing this back in 2021. People were trafficked, trapped in these compounds, and forced under threat of violence to run scams pretty much 24/7. It's a horrifying cycle. Victim on one end loses savings. The scammer on the other end is potentially also a victim trapped in violence.
That's incredibly bleak. And then you layer AI on top of this.
And that's the real accelerant. Generative AI is scaling fraud exponentially. It makes it high fidelity, convincing, and incredibly cheap to deploy.
The Huoni platform data really shows this.
It's alarming. Their AI service vendors, people selling AI tools on the platform, saw revenue growth of 1,900% between 2021 and 2024.
That's just explosive growth.
It tells you automation is taking over. AI makes creating fake identities, deepfakes, so easy. They bypass identity verification systems. One security firm actually found 85% of successful scams now involve accounts that were fully verified.
So the AI helps them look legitimate. They're not just selling data lists anymore. They're selling automated deception tools.
Precisely. We're seeing ads on Huoni for things like AI face-changing services for just a couple $100 in crypto.
So anyone can generate realistic video or photos to trick people. It takes the human element, the acting skill, right out of it. automates the trust part of the scam.
Which leads us straight into Act 2, the calculated targeting of the elderly. If the criminal operations are the factory, then targeting older adults is their most profitable product line.
And the stats are just grim, aren't they? Across the US, UK, Australia, Canada, it's the same pattern. This group carries the heaviest burden.
It's incredibly disproportionate. Let's look at the US. Americans aged 60 and older lost over $745 million in just the first 3 months of 2025.
The Q1.
It's just Q1. For all of 2024, their reported losses hit $4.8 billion. That's a 43% increase from 2023. Massive jump.
And it's not just a US problem.
Not at all. It's universal. In the UK, estimates suggest victims 65 and older are losing around 1.2 million per day.
Per day. That's hard to comprehend.
And the average loss per elderly victim there is over £8,300, much higher than average because, well, they often have more accumulated assets.
Which makes sense. Australia, same story.
Yep. People aged 65 plus reported the highest losses there too. Almost $100 million AUD in 2024, making up 35% of total losses. And get this, $66.5 million of that was purely from investment scams.
Directly targeting savings.
Exactly. In Canada, seniors lost nearly $138 million CAD in 2024. A particularly cruel tactic targets recently widowed or divorced seniors through romance scams. That specific tech cost Canadians $58 million overall last year.
So why? Why this relentless focus on older adults globally? Is it just opportunity or is it more calculated?
Oh, it's absolutely calculated. Two main things: financial opportunity and perceived behavioral vulnerabilities.
Okay, financial opportunity is clear. They often have more savings.
Right, which means higher median losses. In the U.S., the median loss for someone in their 70s is about $1,000. For someone in their 20s, it's more like $417. Big difference.
And the behavioral side, what vulnerabilities are exploited?
Well, scammers often perceive older adults as being perhaps more polite, more trusting of authority figures, maybe less tech-savvy, though that's changing. But the real psychological trick, the one that gets those huge median losses, is the false alarm.
Right, so the scam doesn't start with give me money. It starts with panic.
Precisely. Create a crisis, a fake crisis. The fraudster calls or texts impersonating the bank, police, government, whatever. They say there's a huge problem, a security breach, an unauthorized purchase, your social security number linked to a crime.
Instantly triggering fear and urgency.
Exactly. Bypass rational thought. Then the scammer offers the solution. You must protect your money right now by moving it all out of your accounts into a safe account.
Which is, of course, the scammer's account.
Of course. That manufactured urgency is key. It pushes the victim into making irreversible financial decisions they'd never consider otherwise.
And the impact isn't just financial, is it? The emotional toll must be immense.
It's devastating. Independent Age in the UK found 31% of victims over 65 suffered significant negative mental health impacts. Anxiety, depression, loss of confidence. And 12% even reported physical health problems afterwards. It shatters their sense of security and self-worth.
Okay, so that's the who and the why. Let's move to Act 3, the threat vectors. How are they actually reaching people and getting the money?
It's a mix, really. Old channels supercharged by new tech.
The phone seems huge right now. Vishing, voice phishing, you said it surged 442% between the first and second half of 2024.
Yeah, an incredible jump. It's partly because those AI voice cloning tools we talked about are now cheap and easy to use.
So they can realistically mimic trusted voices. Family bank manager.
With just a small audio sample, yes. It gets past basic voice filters. The scam compounds can automate thousands of these personalized, urgent-sounding calls. It makes things like the grandparent scam, Grandma, I'm in trouble, send money, almost impossible to spot just by voice.
And it works. You mentioned banks losing serious money to deepfake vishing calls.
Over 10% of banks reported losses over $1 million just from this kind of deepfake vishing. We're just hardwired to trust a familiar voice. It's a huge vulnerability.
But email is still number one for initial contact.
According to Consumer Reports, yes, email is still the most common reported way scammers first reach out globally. But the really dangerous growth channel seems to be text messages.
Smishing.
Why more dangerous?
People just seem to trust texts more readily than emails, maybe because they feel more personal or they often mimic official notifications convincingly. Think delivery alerts, bank warnings.
Like the Hi Mum scam in Australia.
Exactly. That costs millions. Or fake package delivery notices that get people to click malicious links. These are hitting people everywhere. Okay, so they hook the victim with a call or text, then they need payment. And that often involves crypto ATMs.
Yes, crypto ATMs, those machines you sometimes see in convenience stores or gas stations, are a major risk vector. The FBI gets thousands of reports linking them to scam payouts.
And the losses are high.
Very high. The median reported loss via crypto ATM scams in the U.S. was $10,000 in the first half of 2024.
$10,000 median loss. Why are these machines so attractive to criminals?
Well, the AARP points out a few key issues. First, critically, the transactions are irreversible. Once the victim feeds cash in and sends the crypto, it's gone, instantly transferred to an anonymous wallet.
No chargebacks like with a credit card.
None. Second, the owners of the small businesses hosting these machines, they often have zero training on scams and can't help the victim. And third, law enforcement often lacks the resources or expertise to investigate crypto crimes effectively. So victims have almost no recourse.
It sounds like a perfect storm for fraudsters. Okay, Act 4. Global regulatory and defense strategies. Faced with this trillion-dollar onslaught, what are governments and regulators actually doing?
We are starting to see some really targeted actions moving beyond just awareness campaigns.
Like tech solutions.
Yeah, Australia's move to implement passkeys for its MyGov platform is significant. Passkeys are way more secure than passwords against phishing because they're tied to the legitimate site. Makes that whole category of scam much harder.
That's smart. What about elsewhere? Canada.
Canada's looking at prevention, too. Their Budget 2025 includes plans to amend the Bank Act, basically forcing banks to do more to detect and prevent fraud targeting consumers.
Putting the onus on the banks.
Yes, and also allowing consumers to set their own transaction limits, adding another layer of control. Plus, they're setting up a dedicated financial crimes agency aiming for spring 2026.
And the UK. They seem to be focused on reimbursement.
They've taken probably the most direct approach to helping victims after the fact. New rules from the payment systems regulator mandate reimbursement for most victims of authorized push payment fraud.
APP fraud, that's where you're tricked into sending the money yourself, right?
Exactly, and it seems to be working. In the first 3 months, they reported 86% of eligible losses were reimbursed. That's huge.
That could really change the dynamic.
It could. Plus, they've introduced a new corporate offense, failure to prevent fraud. Companies can now be held criminally liable if they don't take adequate steps to stop fraud happening via their employees or associates. Again, shifting responsibility.
And specifically on crypto ATMs, are regulators cracking down?
Some are. U.S. states like California and Vermont brought in $1,000 daily transaction limits. And some countries, Turkey, Singapore, Malaysia, have moved to basically prohibit their operation altogether.
So regulation is moving, but it takes time. What can individuals do right now?
Universally.
Absolutely. Individual defense is still critical. The most important thing, stop and think. If you get an unexpected call demanding urgent action, especially involving money, just stop.
Don't react immediately.
No legitimate bank or government agency will ever pressure you to move money to protect it. That's always a scam. Never act on urgency alone.
Okay, stop and think. What's next?
Vera FY. Hang up on any unexpected call, even if the voice sounds like family remember, the AI voice cloning. Then call the organization or person back directly using a number you find independently.
Not the number they gave you or that showed up on caller ID.
Never. Look it up on their official website, use an old contact list, a number you know is genuine.
Good advice.
Third, use the tech tools available. Multi-factor authentication, use it everywhere you can. Strong, unique passphrases, not just passwords. And use secure digital IDs like Australia's passkeys if they're offered.
Makes sense. And one more.
This one's low-tech but effective against voice scams. Family support. Agree on a code word within your family, a specific, unusual word that must be used in any call asking for emergency financial help.
So if the caller doesn't know the code word...
It's not them! Hang up. It completely neutralizes the AI's ability to just mimic a voice. Simple, but powerful.
Okay, let's wrap this up. To summarize what we've deep dived into today, we're facing this $1 trillion global criminal industry. It's professionalized, uses sophisticated infrastructure like Huani, it's weaponizing AI and deepfakes.
And its most calculated, devastating attacks are aimed squarely at older adults worldwide, causing immense financial and emotional harm.
And the figures we've talked about, the $1 trillion globally, the billions in the U.S., that's just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it?
Absolutely. Experts globally estimate only 5% to 10% of fraud actually gets reported. People feel ashamed, they don't know where to turn, or they think nothing can be done. And GASA found only about 4% of victims ever recover their money.
So the true cost, financial and emotional, is vastly underestimated, mostly invisible.
Largely invisible, yes.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. Given this widespread shame, the anxiety, the profound loss of trust reported by victims everywhere, what's the real hidden cost here? Beyond the staggering financial tally, how much is this epidemic truly eroding our social fabric, our confidence in each other, and in our institutions?
It's a chilling question for our interconnected world. How deep does the damage really go?